As a reminder, if you're on YouTube, go to your settings and make sure restriction mode is off, as it restricts content from content creators and it can definitely hurt content creators in the long run. Also, be sure to check out my shorts channel, Starter Protagonist, if you want to see some of my best shorts on there. So be sure to check it out and make sure you subscribe there. Go again, yo, everyone. Starter Protagonist is here. I hope everyone is having a great day, great night, whatever. I'm starting to see a bit of a trend in the ZZZ community. Usually we see a new character that's being introduced. Some people may like it, but some people may not like it, and you'll see mostly the negatives, mainly on Twitter. And when the character actually comes out, people actually play it for a bit, and they actually go through their story. Now all of a sudden they switch up and they actually enjoy that character. I've pretty much seen this twice before. We've seen this with Seed, which I'll talk a bit more later. And now we've saw this with the new character, Lucia. Weeks ago, she was introduced into the game. Now everybody is actually enjoying the character, giving their thoughts, giving their certain clips. I know I've done myself. It actually makes me happy to see that people are actually warming up to Lucia. But before she was actually brought into the game, she's gotten a bit of bad rep. First of all, it has to do with her taking the S-rank spot over Manato. Manato was introduced into the game way before Lucia was. He was introduced alongside Yuzuha and Alice, but he wasn't a playable character, but he played a good role in the story. Now, you would think that he would actually become an S-rank character at that point. Me personally, I don't think Manato was actually the S-rank type of character. I feel like he belongs more into the A-rank category. When he was introduced, people were actually mad. If the character is actually slightly moving during the whole introduction, then that's considered an S-rank character. But if the character is actually a still image, that's an A-rank character. So when Manato was introduced as an A-rank character, let me tell you, the backlash behind it was way too much. And it was not helping that Lucia herself got that S-rank role. So obviously people were actually looking at Lucia like, how does she get the S-rank role and she wasn't introduced in the story? Honestly, there's nothing wrong with A-rank characters. In fact, there's nothing wrong with characters that's gotten a lot of screen time in the story be A-rank characters. Like, for example, Lucy. She's my favorite character, and she's gotten a lot of screen time in the story in chapter 4 of season 1, but she was actually an A-rank character, and I didn't mind that one bit because 1, it was easier to get her, and 2, her being an A-rank didn't really matter to me. Obviously, she became my favorite character in ZZZ, and it didn't matter to me whether she was an S-rank or an A-rank character. As long as the character is enjoyable, that's all that matters. So for people to actually drop the game and actually, leave all these 1-star ratings trying to hate bomb the game because they did not get what they wanted, I think that's going a bit extreme, and it pretty much shows that they don't really care about the game. I think it was not only a bit crazy for people to actually hate bomb this game over one character, but I think it was also a bit unfair to actually go after like the new characters, because yes, we didn't know much about them at the time, but like at the same time, we should give these new characters a chance when they're actually introduced more. And the second reason, her redesign. Apparently she was supposed to be like this thick, busty nun with short blonde hair, but when you look at her more, it kind of feels like it was like a redesign of the Hari. When it comes to Lucia, she has like this booty length bodysuit with a bit of underboob. People were a bit skeptical about this redesign, but when you get to her actual redesign, that's where people really lost the plot. What they did was they increased the size of her boobs, and instead of keeping the underboob, they actually gave her cleavage. Listen, people getting antsy about this is mainly people on Twitter and on Reddit, okay? And I think it also goes to show that like, it doesn't matter how much outrage a character is gonna get, that character is still gonna sell well. At least when it comes to the female characters, because I'm not sure about the male characters. And it's probably a reason why we barely saw like S-rank male characters, because I know people like to denounce this whole argument where men can't sell well, but in the case of ZZZ, I think it actually fits. Lighter and Hugo's runs, they were not as successful as the female characters. Harumasa, Yes, I don't think you were able to pull for him. In fact, he was a free S rank character for you to get. As for Von Lycon, he's a permanent pull, meaning you can try and pull as many times for him as long as you have master tapes instead of the encrypted master tapes. But when it comes to Lighter and Hugo, these are the only two characters so far. There are some people who are going to pull for these two characters, but when Hugo was announced, when he was introduced, I don't think it really mattered where they would actually put him. Even if they put him first before Vivian, I don't think it would still sell well, because at the end of the day, people are still going to pull for Vivian more than they'll pull for Hugo. Hugo's run did not do well, especially when you paired him with Lighter. I guarantee you, if they put him alongside of a different female character, they probably would have gotten more pulls. It probably would have done more numbers in terms of cash. But Hugo and Lighter together, that did not end well. It also hurt even more when people were actually looking more forward into Yixuan. And I'm pretty much guilty for that, because I was obviously looking forward to Yixuan more than Hugo. I also didn't even really pull for Vivian either, because like I was more focused on trying to get Jane Doe. I was more focused on trying to get the Rat Mommy. But eventually, when Lucia came and Vivian got a rerun, I had to pull for Vivian first. But I think it's pretty different how things have changed and how people's perspective towards this character actually changed. Whether it had to be the gameplay, or maybe it has to do with those animations of her. Seriously, I'm pretty guilty for making such goonerish shorts on my second YouTube channel. If you want, you can check that out. It'll be at the top right corner, or you can check it out at the end of my video. But I just can't help it. I really like Lucy a lot. And this wasn't even the first time this happened. When Seed was introduced in season 2, people thought that Seed was just gonna be a huge robot, but it was introduced as a girl in a mech instead of an actual robot, and people were not happy about that. And it also didn't help the fact that she's able to control the mech with her feet as well, pretty much enabling foot fetishes, which I know many people did not take lightly about that, but people ended up changing their minds and actually pulling for her, not just because of her gameplay, but also because of the physics as well. Seriously, her ass claps every time you do a chain attack, which is crazy. And as like good as that is, I didn't really bother pulling for Seed, and it's not because she's a bad character. Again, I really like the character, and her story itself was just heart-wrenching. My main reason, and this is a petty one, is because of the voice actors. And if you watched any anime, I'm pretty sure you know who I'm talking about. But anyway, at the end of the day, I don't think we should take Twitter like pretty seriously at this point, because people who denounce this new redesign, they are the minority. It doesn't matter if they're like English or Chinese or Japanese, they are the minority. I've seen this firsthand, because when I gave my takes on this, people were actually nice to me about it and telling me it should not matter, because at the end of the day, people who are complaining, they are the minority, the loud minority. So yeah, I think Lucy is a really fine character in my opinion. But you're probably asking, did I actually pull for Lucia? I will answer that question, but I think it's important that I would probably like tell my whole experience trying to get to Lucia. So when this season started, I initially tried to pull for Vivian first, because for one, I needed another Ether character. Nicole was fine, but I needed more Ether support. So obviously I had to go for Vivian, and especially since they gave her a new like swimsuit outfit, which was really great. You're getting this Vivian swimsuit for free for pulling for 180 times. My issue is the fact that once those days are up, she's completely gone for 180 days, and after those 180 days, she'll be available for purchase. In my opinion, I think that's a bit predatory and a bit fucked up. I wish once those days were up, you would then have to buy the outfit in the store for monochromes. That would have been better. Why do we have to wait 180 days just for her to be purchasable? But it didn't matter. I managed to get her and her outfit. Now, trying to get Lucia was a different story, because I had the pulls. I was grinding the game out as normally as I can, and when I did pull for her, I essentially lost the 50-50 to Soldier 11. I was extremely pissed about that, so I had to grind more. And you're probably thinking, maybe I should have bought more monochromes, but there are two reasons why I didn't do that. Number one, obviously I'm broke as fuck. And number two, obviously I don't spend a lot of money on this game, because like, why would I spend a lot of money on the game when I can just grind it out? And the thing is though, I completed majority of the intermissions. I've done all of the Hollow Zero. I tried doing Deadly's Assault, but I suck at that, as well as the Threshold Simulator, so I suck at both of those. I literally did everything I could, getting as many pulls as I can. I even redid intermissions as well as the story missions on the hard sections, getting as many polychromes as I can. I did everything I could to try and get this close to Lucia. I even did the hidden intermissions as well. So after all of that, I finally got Lucia at the end, and with only 5 days left to spare. That was really reassuring. I honestly could have gotten her earlier if it wasn't for Soldier 11, which is probably why I dislike her a bit more. I just wanted to make this video because this whole scenario around Lucia was pretty interesting. Lots of people really pissed off or really upset, while others, they just focused on the game and actually enjoyed playing as Lucia. I personally enjoyed playing as Lucia, from the gameplay to, again, those animations. Seriously, I can't believe how much cake Hoyoverse has given her. I can't believe how much cake they've been giving these characters, which is crazy, but I say keep it going. And I know ZZZ is more of a niche game, but at the end of the day, I would rather they keep it niche rather than for them to try and make it as popular as Genshin Impact and Hawkeye Star Rail. Two of the biggest money makers at this point. But ZZZ I think is actually fine the way it is. I would rather them keep this as niche as possible rather than them trying to reach out to a modern audience. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. I would love to do more ZZZ videos as long as you guys are interested. But until then, this is Star the Protagonist signing out. As always, go Genyo and have a star-tastic day, everyone. If you enjoyed today's video, then be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn those notifications on to join the Star Nation. Also, be sure to follow my Twitter, and while you're at it, check out my previous video. Now.